Alleged child predators saunter right into a trap. Police say they busted 22 people who showed up to meet a 14-year-old girl for sex. But there was no girl, just a house packed with cops.
How many of these sick people is out there preying on our children that we do not apprehend?
Florida investigators posted Craigslist ads pretending to be minors. They set up a bait house where they say the suspects went to have sex with an underage girl. Police took them down one by one by one. Watch. Dramatic video, all right, but some people are wondering tonight, will these cases hold up in court? Are the defendants going to argue entrapment? Straight out to Sheriff Bill Farmer from Sumter County, Florida. Sheriff, why did you decide to take this dramatic step and run a sting that seems to be really from the page book of Dateline NBC's To Catch a Predator?
Well, Jane, we're just tired of it here in the state of Florida. We've got such a child predator problem. Within the state of Florida, all the sheriffs of Florida, we kind of band together, and we're going to do these operations throughout the state of Florida to protect the children of Florida. This is a bad thing that we've got going on down in Florida, and we just want to curb it. We want to stop it with the enforcement of these sting operations. We believe that they're constitutional, and we believe that they'll hold up in court because each and every one of these people, they contacted us on the internet and made contact thinking they were contacting a 14-year-old girl, and they came to a location to have sex with that 14-year-old girl. So we firmly feel and believe that they'll hold up, and there'll be a strong case in court.
Okay, the 22 suspects range in age from 20 to 59 years old, among them a married couple, and another suspect is a security guard at Universal Studios. Now, I want to ask you about this married couple. Are you alleging that you spoke to both the husband and the wife? Because I'm kind of wondering, what if the husband was involved and let's say didn't tell the wife where they were going and she gets swept up in this thing, Sheriff?
Yes, that's something that'll be learned throughout the investigation. She did arrive with the husband to commit this act upon a 14-year-old girl. And that's something that's going to be sorted out by the state attorney's office in their investigation. We know that we were in contact with someone from their computer to our computer station, and that person left and arrived at our residence for sex with a 14-year-old girl. And that's something that our investigation will look at.
Well, hang on there, Sheriff. I certainly admire your intentions, but we have to ask the tough questions. That's part of our job. So here's my big issue. Are these good targets or bad traps? This sting resulted in 22 arrests in just 5 days, and authorities say many of the suspects have no criminal record, and not one of them is a registered sex offender. Now, of course, we all want pedophiles behind bars, but the reality is undercover stings like this can sometimes, they have in the past resulted in overturned convictions. Defendants often claim entrapment. I used to watch Dateline's To Catch a Predator series, and I have to be honest, I was conflicted because in one of the cases on Dateline, for example, a suspect committed suicide. His family sued NBC for $105 million. They reached a confidential settlement. Deborah Opry, criminal defense attorney, we all want predators in prison. Do you think this is the best way to do it?
In this internet age with this high technology, absolutely it's the best way. I call these the Craigslist Crime Stoppers. We have to use our technology, and the gentleman is correct. He did not solicit them. They posted a young 14-year-old girl on Craigslist. She put herself out there, and they came looking for her. The fact that they came to her and she didn't go to them, that would be a strong argument against the entrapment defense. I think you have to use every avenue you have, Jane, and you know this. You know this.
Right, and again, believe me, I want to catch predators. I am saying these people, first of all, we have to say they haven't been convicted of anything. They have been arrested and charged. But I want to learn more about how this is done. Cris Logan, you're the communications director for Enough is Enough. It wasn't involved in this particular sting, but you've been involved in this area. Now, my question is, these decoys, are they the first to bring up the subject of sex? And how graphic is the talk that these decoys engage in in the process of enticing the subjects to come out and come to a house where they think they're going to have sex, allegedly?
Well, it's certainly amazing. One of the things that we've seen through the internet is that predators have easy and anonymous access to kids. They also have access to a la carte child pornography, and oftentimes the level of discussion that these individuals are engaging in when they're soliciting a youth online is very graphic. It's very sexual in nature. They're swapping and exchanging child pornography and encouraging youth to act out sexually in a way that's absolutely horrendous. And one of the things that we see...
But my question is, who brings up the sex first? In other words, if somebody's pretending to be a 14-year-old girl, are they going online and saying, hey, I would like to have sex with somebody, and soliciting? Because I will say that a successful defense of entrapment is that you would not have committed the crime were it not for the involvement of law enforcement. Just explain that, Cris.
Well, one of the things that we see regularly whenever we're involved with any law enforcement is that they're going into these rooms, and these individuals, oftentimes men, oftentimes individuals that are in a strong position in society, are actually soliciting and seeking out sex with a minor. So you don't have to be the one that's reaching out, seeking that information as a 14-year-old. These individuals are all over the place online, and parents have to be the first line of defense. They have to be aware of the warning signs that their child might be engaging in this type of content.
Hang in a second, because we're just getting started. Plus, Casey Anthony in court, a huge
policy of taking it down within 10 minutes. As soon as someone posts a sex ad on Craigslist now, they automatically take it down. But within that 10 minutes, we had hundreds of hits within 10 minutes on our website.
And what did the
then
ad
our
say?
investigators picked it up from there and talked to the individuals.
What did the ad say, sir?
I don't have one in front of me. It's just basically a Craigslist ad.
But did it say 14-year-old girl?
14-year-old girl, you know, and they'll post what they'd like to talk about, what they'd like to do.
And then these suspects allegedly contact
They contact them, and they're carrying on a conversation with a 14-year-old girl online is the way they feel.
Okay, so you're maintaining that nobody could ever confuse this with any kind of fantasy game or any kind of...
No, Jane, there's no way, because we make it quite plain on the internet that they are in communication with a 14-year-old girl, that they are coming and they're arriving at this residence in question to have sex with a 14-year-old girl. There's no way to be mistaken about it.
What are these people technically charged with? Are they all charged with the same thing?
Yes, they're meeting a minor for sexual purposes. Bond's been $50,000 on them. And we've got 50 felonies on these 22.
Do you find it interesting that none of these people have ever, I just find it fascinating that none of them are on any kind of sex registry list?
No, ma'am. There's not a one of them that's on our radar screen, so to speak. Every one of them is flying on the radar. We did not have any prior arrest for sexual offenders or predators on any of these. They have no criminal records.
Cris Logan, what should parents tell their kids?
Well, we actually developed a multimedia teaching program called Internet Safety 101, where we encourage parents to actually have conversations, know where their kids are going, who they're communicating with, what they're doing online. Use parental control software, monitoring software, filtering technology. Make sure you know who your kids are talking to, where they're going, and what they're doing online. Parents really are the first line of defense. In this instance, law enforcement was ahead, but oftentimes we find that parents are unaware. They have to be involved.
Thank you, panel. Casey Anthony up next.